he lives are sometimes disproportionate to the service that he gives, while the ordinary soldier, who has offered up his all, is paid off with a medal and perhaps a pension, small. It's so easy to forget them, for it was so long ago that the old bills of our country went to battle. But we know it was not the politicians with their compromises and ploys who won for us the freedom that our country now enjoys. Should you find yourself in danger with your enemies at hand, would you want a politician with his ever-shifting stand? Or would you prefer a soldier who has sworn to defend his home, his kin and country, and would fight until the end? He was just a common soldier, and his ranks are growing thin. But his presence should remind us we may need his like again. For when countries are in conflict, then we find the soldier's part is to clean up all the troubles that the politicians start. If we cannot do him honor while he's here to hear the praise, then at least let's give him homage at the ending of his days. Perhaps just a simple headline in a paper that would say, "Our country is in mourning, for a soldier died today."
Tell me that isn't powerful stuff, Russ.
That was pretty badass. Good job.
Hey, listen, it's badass to put it together, yes, but the whole point of this show is to point out that men like you, men and women who serve, that's what's badass. That's what we should be saluting more than just 1 or 2 days out of the year. Like I opened the show up with, we get to do this show because people like you have provided the freedom for us to do this show. And I guess that's what we're kind of fighting about in the debates is the course of this nation and how we're going to use that freedom for the next 4 years.
I appreciate it, Gene, but let's not get bogged down here. Let's keep it rolling.
All right, we're going to keep it rolling. Thanks for listening to Behind Enemy Lines Radio, folks. I'm Gene, he's Russ. And while we got you listening, check out our website. That's www.behindenemylinesradio.us. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter at BEL_radio. Check out the Brooklyn Young Republicans, where we first started, at www.brooklynYRS.com. And you can listen to the show on replay. We're available on iTunes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Player FM, Spreaker, and Stitcher, among other fine podcast outlets across the interwebs. We're going to take a quick break here right now, folks, and when we come back, we're going to bring you our interview with singer, songwriter, and Marine John Preston. Gene and Russ, Behind Enemy Lines. We'll be back right after these brief words. So what is Behind Enemy Lines anyway? This is the true story of two friends living in the People's Republic of New York City who work together and have their conversations taped to find out what happens when conservatives stop being politically correct and start getting real. We are Behind Enemy Lines. Watch your wallets. Thursdays at 1 on WNJC, part of the Conservative Commandos Radio Network.
I'm Vito.
And I'm Vito, and we're from WNJC's The Vito and Vito Show.
Every Friday at 1 p.m., you can hear Vito and Vito bring you the perspectives of two college-age millennial conservatives who are committed to defending the principles of free markets, liberty, freedom, and individualism from Brooklyn, New York.
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Vito and Vito Show, and check out our blog posts and articles at VitoandVito.com.
Vito and Vito Show, every Friday, 1 p.m. on WNJC 1360 AM, Philadelphia's Renaissance Station. In Brooklyn,
it's nothing but the truth.
Who might you save? Your mother, your father, your husband, uncle, aunt, son.
Learn FAST, F-A-S-T, the sudden signs of a stroke, and you could save.
Your friend, teacher, boss.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. F-A-S-T. That's F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in the recovery of
your neighbor, the waiter, grandmother, grandfather.
So learn FAST, the sudden signs of a stroke, then pass it on, because you never know who might save you.
Your wife, your colleague.
Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org, brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Behind Enemy Lines. Back on the air.
Gene Berardelli back behind enemy lines, and joining me right now on the line, it is a pleasure to welcome onto the show John Preston, a singer, a soldier.
Gene.
How you doing, pal? It's so great to have you on. I was going to build you up a little bit. Singer, soldier, activist extraordinaire, and we were just talking before the interview about your background and how you got into this. Why don't you tell everybody all about it?
Yes, sir. So, first of all, singer, Marine, activist.
Oh, my father! You know what? My father's going to kill me. My father, God rest his soul, he's smacking me in the back of the head right now. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Yes, sir. So I am a son of a Marine Vietnam veteran, Purple Heart Award recipient. It was my hero. You know, when I was a little kid, my father used to come out of the bedroom with this Purple Heart, and he would show it to me, and he'd be like, "This is what you don't want to do." I'd always be like, "Ooh, I want to be like Dad." You know, it was one of those things. So, followed the footsteps of my father and both my brothers. In 2000, I joined the Marine Corps. Obviously, before 9/11, I was a field wireman, but I was with 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines. So I ended up being a radio operator for Golf 27 for 2.5 years. And then on my deployment to Iraq, because I was one of the few H&S guys that spent a lot of time in the infantry, I actually became an infantry squad leader for our mission squad with 2-7 headquarters. So with my time in Iraq, I probably ran 120 combat missions outside the wire, hooking and jabbing, anything from opening schools up, which was really not talked about very publicly for us, to actual running security for EOD, blowing bombs, to full-blown patrols in hot neighborhoods. So we ran a lot of busy time over there in Iraq.
It sounds like it. It must have been a singular experience. I don't want to judge good or bad, but throughout all this, though, when you came back stateside, you faced even more challenges, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going through something that not very many of us probably had the opportunity to do. In 2004, when I was in Iraq, actually, at one point we were out opening a school, and my buddy Nick and I were on this patrol, and we got surrounded by Iraqi school children, and they all started clapping and chanting, "Good, good America, good, good America." And I just remember that absolutely blowing my mind, because that was the first time while I was there that I thought to myself, we're doing this. You know, this is the generation that we're bringing up. These are the people these are the lives that we're altering and changing, are these children that are clapping and chanting "Good, good America." I went back to what we had back there were like little cans that we lived in, and I wrote the song "Good, Good America." Nick, who was a little tech savvy, decided we were going to make a video to it while we were still in Iraq. We put this video out, and we were covered by LA Times, front page of the calendar, and I was known across the whole country. That hit every newspaper in the country in 2004. So by the time I got out, I was actually signing a record label to start a music career, and what I thought I was going to be this huge star. Yeah, so I was dealing with a lot of other things at the same time. Here I was, I just got back from war. I had a bottle in my hand most of the time. I remember my father actually came out and lived with me for about 3 months because he knew I wasn't going to make it otherwise, and I was in a rough spot in life, in drinking myself way beyond where I should have been. So I, at that time, was unaware what I was dealing with, and what I was dealing with was post-traumatic stress. And we really didn't, it had a name, but it wasn't public for us veterans at that time. In 2004, they basically said, hey, here you go, see you later, welcome to society, and that was it. I think it was a blessing that I had the distraction of music at the same time so that I was at least partially focused, but definitely not focused enough to make the career I had planned to have. At that point, I did media all over the country. I did TV media, radio media, pointing out the war that we were fighting was not the war that was being publicized in the media. We were, in fact, helping a people grow and become a more westernized society. So, for me, Good America and Iraq in general just completely altered my life, because here I was battling with Survivors Guild, where I lost friends in the war, and all these different things, all these moments of PTSD that I would have driving down the road, where I would literally pull over to the side of the road with my heart pounding because there was something on the freeway in LA, you know. So it really, that part of my life set where I am today and what I'm doing now.
It's like you fight a physical battle when you're overseas, and it's a physical endurance test, and then when you come home, it's a mental battle against those that you would think would be grateful for the services that you provide. Thank God that you had music to help you get through, and I'm sure a great support system. But it's not the same story for other veterans out there, especially friends of yours, right?
Absolutely, and we're dealing with 22 veteran suicides a day. My career restarted when I realized I still have a mission to accomplish in life, and I was dealing with, my best friend is dealing with meth addiction, and basically lost his whole life. He lost everything that he was before, his family, his ability to work a real job. Everything that he was as a person was taken away from him, and it was taken away because of his battle with post-traumatic stress. And I was torn because that's my best friend. We were in the Marine Corps together. We were roommates together. We were both from Kentucky, had this incredible bond, and it just wrecked me to see not only the state he was in, but at the same time this was happening, I was probably also dealing with my worst post-traumatic stress of my life. I was drinking myself to blackout every night and not really focusing on anything in life. And I wrote the song Your War Is Over. Really, it was my changing point in life. It was when I decided I needed to get my life straight. I'm now a firefighter, and it was because of, I think, that song that got my mind to say, get your life on track. And it's not easy, and I'm not telling anyone out there that it's easy, and it's never going to be easy. But for the guys that are dealing with post-traumatic stress, we have to find a mission, and you have to accomplish that mission. And when that's accomplished, find another and accomplishment, because that's what we are. We're warriors, and we're fighting for a mission. That's how we were raised. So, you know, that fight continues way after the war. Absolutely.
Well, it's so good to hear that you have found your purpose and your calling between your music and now service in your community. Like I said, there are so many others out there that, like you said, 22 suicides a day. That's monstrous in an advanced society, that we would allow those who truly are our best and brightest. I truly believe that those who volunteer to serve, you know what, they may not be, you know, the most academic. They may not be, you know, the most polite kid in class, not Mr. Congeniality or anything like that. But their heart is probably the biggest of all young people who aspire to be something in life, and to see that they're being left behind like that is tragic, really. But it's good to see, like, you make it through the rain, and now you're looking to help others make it through through your music.
Yes, sir, and that's what it's all about. Is those of us that have